New governor, new promise of development in Kogi State. Old tenants renew contracts in Bayelsa and Imo, assure indigents of a new lease of life. But what is concrete and what is liquid in this latest installment of the Fellowship of the Ballot served over the weekend? Also on political updates, the court verdicts with big implication in some states of the Federation. We have these and more on our lineup. I am Fisai Ogunfuyi. Welcome. Just today, the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has dismissed the appeal filed by Governor of Kano State, Abba Kabir Yusuf, challenging the governorship tribunal judgment that gave victory to Kabiru Gawuna of the All Progressives Congress. Olabode Arewa, who was in court, gives us an update. Olabode, what can you tell us?
Noteworthy to realize that it was Governor Kabir Yusuf that filed the appeal against the tribunal judgment. The Tribunal Act said that it was Gawuna that was the rightful winner of the March 2023 governorship election in Kano State. Well, the Tribunal has said that it invalidated 165,663 votes, which were from the votes which were allotted to Governor Yusuf on the basis that those votes were not stamped. Well, also the tribunal also said the issue of party membership of Governor Yusuf was paramount, and that based on the petition filed by Gawuna, that Governor Yusuf was not a member, a registered member of the New Nigeria People's Party as at the time of the election. But the Court of Appeal here agreed with the claims and the arguments of Gawuna and his party, the All Progressives Congress. The appeal court said truly there was no evidence to show that Governor Yusuf was a member, a duly registered member of the political party called the NNPP as at the time the election was held.
The leadership of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, is calling for the immediate disbandment of the Plateau State Election Appeal Court panel sitting in Abuja. The party's acting national chairman, Umar Damagun, was speaking at a media briefing in Abuja.
The Plateau State Election Appeal Court panel ordered a rerun where the PDP won and the APC came third.
The acting national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Ambassador Umar Damagum, on the Plateau State Election Appeal Court sitting in Abuja. He noted its varying and contradictory judgments against the PDP, which according to it are also in conflict with the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, the Electoral Act 2022, and INEC's guidelines and regulations for elections.
The PDP also urges the CGN and the President Court of Appeal as very experienced judicial officers to set up a new panel and subject the biased judgment by the Plateau State Election Appeal Court panel to judicial review.
Meanwhile, the Coalition of United Political Parties, CUPP, has commended the Independent National Electoral Commission for upping its game in the just concluded off-cycle elections in Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi states. Members steering committee of the coalition, Emeka Igwe, said, following a review of the elections and reports by various observer groups and CUPP members, especially party agents, there was a great improvement in the early arrival of INEC officials and election materials at polling units.
Young Africa even confirmed in their reports that pre-election projections and the ultimate outcome in Kogi substantially tally with INEC declarations.
The coalition also commended security agencies for the prompt arrest of individuals who were seen to pose security threats in the elections in the three states.
The governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Senator Samuel Anyanwu, and that of the Labour Party, Ethan Achonu, have called for a review or outright cancellation of the just concluded November 11 Imo governorship election. They stated this during a joint press conference in Owerri.
With the declaration of the APC governorship candidate, Senator Hope Uzodinma, as the winner of the November 11 governorship election, the governorship candidates of the Labour Party, Atana Chonu, and that of the PDP, Samuel Anyanwu, have called for a total review or outright cancellation of the entire result.
Over the weekend was a raid on democracy. Over 50% of the polling units had results without any form of accreditation whatsoever. So it has to be completely reviewed. We have now written to the INEC chairman for a total review of that election so that whoever is the victor will be announced, or outright cancellation of the election.
And the collection center and the watchful eye of the security operatives, a chairman of a party who is a state agent of a party, was molested, assaulted, bundled out of the place, and nobody was an issue. I feel so ashamed.
They stressed that neither the PDP nor the LP lost in the election, but that it is actually democracy that has lost.
Meanwhile, Imo Governor and Governor-elect Senator Hope Uzodinma has promised to fulfill his campaign promises to the people of the state.
In his speech, Governor Hope Uzodinma expressed his gratitude to the people of Imo State, their overwhelming support, and pledged to continue serving them with utmost honesty and the fear of God. He acknowledged that the massive votes he received across all the 27 local government areas of the state played a significant role in his clear and unprecedented victory.
It is with a deep sense of humility, appreciation, and abiding faith in God that I humbly accept the great honor and privilege to serve as your governor for a second term of another 4 years in office.
The governor emphasized that the people's votes were an emphatic vote of confidence in his performance over the past 4 years. He commended the voters for their unwavering support and expressed his deep appreciation for their trust. He also recognized the various stakeholders that endorsed him due to his performance in office.
You came out boldly and joyously to give me your votes. I want to thank you, and thank you very much indeed.
Governor Uzodinma reaffirmed his commitment to the people of Imo State. He pledged to keep his covenant with God and the people, promising not to let them down. He assured the public that he will serve with honesty, transparency, and the fear of God.
Okay, to the meat of the matter now. Last weekend, Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi states went to the polls to elect new governors. Many say it was a mixed grill of fulfilled expectations, dashed hopes, and forced outcomes. 24 years into the Fourth Republic, what are we getting right or wrong in our electoral processes? Don Everada Abednego, technical advisor on public affairs to the executive governor of Bayelsa State, Senator Doyediri, and spokesperson of the Bayelsa State PDP Governorship Campaign Council, joins us today. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Let's congratulate you on the victory of your principal, Governor Diri. But announcing just 8 local governments took about 3 days. Why?
Yeah, first we want to give a very profound appreciation to all senior citizens of the state, including canoe carvers and fishermen like our fathers there, including, I did say canoe carvers like the former president's father, referring to the father of Goodluck Jonathan. My father, who was a palm cutter, and teachers, market women, young folks, members of the civil society organizations, security agencies. But first, we want to give a very special thanks to Almighty God, INEC, and all of us, the media. In Bayelsa State, it isn't about an election that was conducted. It was about an event that could better be described as an affirmation of Doyediri for a second tenure, being the fact that he did fantastically well in the first 4 years in virtually every facet of our developmental, demands and desires. And so when you ask whether or not it took 3 days before the result was announced, it alludes to the fact that Bayelsa State is a riverine and much more deltaic than rivers and delta states. And so for you to take materials and logistics here and there, quite enormous. But whatever the situation, Bayelsans are not really perturbed or worried about how many days it took. The most important thing is their desire came to fore. And I can tell you for free, like today as we're talking now, a whole lot of celebrations are taking place because INEC is doing the needful by ensuring that the certificate of return is given to our people, because it is not to the governor, it's to our people. Everything that is done, and that was done on election day, which I said was an affirmation, alludes to that simple fact that Bayelsa State has come of age, and every other time we have to be celebrating the essence of good governance in our state.
All right, for those who don't know much about the state, what are the peculiar issues in Bayelsa which affects its politics?
Well, first we must understand that every good thing in this country first is from Bayelsa State. What has kept this country, blooming in terms of economy started in Oloibiri, that is Nogwea local government area in Bayelsa State, where oil was first struck in commercial quantity. And that arises the fact that the world over there saying Nigeria is a big-time player in the oil industry first started there. And Nigerians can also attest to the fact that a great many things have happened to this country. Number two, we can also say that today the world over is celebrating the icon of democracy after the death or the passing of our late sage Nelson Mandela. The one that is celebrated today globally is from Bayelsa State, and a German. His name is former President Goodluck Jonathan. You can understand how significant and important Bayelsa State is, much so. We understand the history and the days and the times of struggle about agitation, about giving us right, what we need, because our people felt that we are, for many times, being marginalized and oppressed and neglected, etc., etc. But then times have changed. Democracy has come. Our voices have been heard. The judges today are no longer members of the fourth fiddle or whatever rank. We are first amongst equal in this country, and therefore everything Bayelsa State is unique because Bayelsa is the home state of the judge. But certain things must be remembered. The developmental challenges of our place aren't things that can be toyed with. And that is why everything Bayelsa State requires a collective arrangement between the state and the federal government. And indeed, every state in this country must understand that if we fail in Bayelsa State, then Nigeria has failed. If we pass, which of course Nigeria has been yielding towards that direction of saying, let it be good at all times. Bayelsa occupies a very unique position in the history of this country, and of course our survival as a people. Everything Bayelsa State tells a story that comes in different fronts.
All right, on Monday we saw fisticuffs being exchanged while we were about reading out the 7th to the 8th. I think it was Brass, and then we were moving towards the last one, Southern Ijo. We saw fisticuffs being exchanged amongst our party agents and all that. Would you be making efforts perhaps to heal these wounds of crossfire that we've seen just before the elections, during and immediately after, towards the pronouncements of the actual figures, and eventually which showed the victory of your principle? What efforts are you making perhaps to pull people from the other side of the divide into the fold to know that it's still a state on an even keel?
Yeah, in the first place, Nigerians across board can allude to the fact that Bayelsa State in the first, or rather the last 4 years, has been largely judged as the most peaceful state in this country. That becomes true and possible because the prosperity government of Senator Ejiri as governor made the right investment by ensuring that we provide the requisites, perquisites of operations to the Nigeria police, the Nigeria Army sister agencies, etc., etc. And we understand that the governor was able to weave in the people into these projects of self-preservation and working in collaboration with sister security agencies and the police to ensure that there is peace and tranquility. It is true, therefore, that Bayelsa State has remained very peaceful. Unfortunately, whenever the other folks come in, this is Nigeria, so we are careful not to demarcate our country so that we don't say certain things. But anytime they come to say they want to run for a position of trust in public service, they come with a baggage of things that are really not necessary for democracy, not good enough for this country, not to talk of Bayelsa State. However, whatever thing that happened that day, everyone saw across the globe that it was orchestrated by the other side. The PDP and all of us as a people, we read the body language of our governor, our principal, who always believes that where there is darkness, there should be light. Where there is hatred, there should be love. That has been the driving philosophy in the state. Notwithstanding, all of that did happen that day. It's quite regrettable as a state on behalf of our governor and the wonderful people of the state. We are telling the world, please ignore it. That is not what the judges are noted for. That is not what Nigeria should be, and never part of our own body language. Having said that, as a governor, we understand, like I did say a moment ago, that there wasn't an election. There was a mere affirmation of the governor to say, continue for the wonderful jobs you've been doing, for the uncommon transformation in terms of development to our state. And, you know, in his acceptance speech on that day, he said very clearly, without any ambiguity, that this isn't a victory for PDP. It's a victory for humanity. It's a victory for all lovers of democracy, for all lovers of peace, lovers of development. And above all, it's about the victory of hope. And so our people have found that there must be hope. And so the governor has made a statement of inclusivity. He didn't say PDP go and celebrate. He said, of course, we have won because we represent a political party, but please, let there be modesty and moderation in the way you celebrate. And
I'll come back to you for your closing remarks. Let's just take a couple of stories. Time is not our friend. Coalition of Civil Society Organizations of Nigeria has appealed to Ondo stakeholders to swiftly intervene in the political situation in the state to ensure temporal transfer of power to the deputy governor pending the full recovery of Governor Rotimi Akeredolu. The coalition was speaking against the actions of some forces which have allegedly caused a vacuum in the state's apex office.
The coalition of civil society organizations says Governor Rotimi Akeredolu's absence should not be allowed to disrupt businesses of government and made a passionate appeal for the deputy governor to be temporarily transferred power on acting capacity in line with provisions of the Constitution.
The intent of the framers of our Constitution in section 189, 190, and 191 is to avoid any kind of vacuum, which is invariably affecting the entire citizens of Ondo State. And that is why we are acting as a voice of other citizens.
Meanwhile, a new APC group tagged Consolidated APC Grassroots Movement has been unveiled. The group is to hit the ground running ahead of the next phase of presidential election come 2027.
On behalf of the great men and women of Restructuring Committee, welcome you all to a new dawn in grassroots mobilization. Welcome to Consolidated APC Grassroots Movement, CAGRAM.
Consolidated APC Grassroots Movement says it is determined to ensure that the movement remains strategic in mobilizing grassroots support beyond 2031.
The integrity of elections, smooth power transitions, and multi-party operation system are indicators of political stability and development in Nigeria. These are the words of former President Muhammadu Buhari to the Advisory Party Committee Chairman Sani Yabagi during his visit to his residence in Daura. The visit was part of preparations ahead of 100 years of political parties in Nigeria.
2003, 2007, 2011, I went to address you, the press, and the people who have been following us closely. I was expecting people to sympathize with me. Instead, they laughed. I say, God day. And God sent technology, PVC, permanent voters card. Before, political fraudulence will come and say, I will bring you 50,000 votes. How much will you give me? Now they can't do that because they could only bring one, their permanent voters card.
We believe it's an opportunity for us that Isa is here, and he has accepted, to give us audience. So we are very happy that we have accomplished our mission here.
All right, before we round up on political update today, Don Ivarada Abednego is still with us, spokesperson of PDP Bayelsa Campaign Council. The people of Bayelsa want to listen to you for one more time, talking about the next 4 years. They've given your candidate, the governor, another tenancy, because they are the landlords, another tenancy in the government house. What should they expect in a few short moments before we round up?
Yeah, another 4 years will be quite demanding for the government because there will be a very strong hunger for development in virtually all sectors and facets of our states. But we want to assure the people of the state that having got it right in security and building very critical infrastructure that we intend to continue, we want to assure the people of the state that better days are ahead. Number one, we will ensure that the 3 senatorial district roads that we commenced, the one that is from Ikirima will be taken to Agay anytime from now is going to commence because it's going to be captured in the 2024 budget. The Nebe Brass Road is going to be taken to the conclusion at the level that we said the first phase is going to be. The Yenagua Poromao Kubie Road, which of course we understand the people of southern Niger come 2024 will drive for the first time to Poroma, the local government headquarters, and the road is getting down to the Atlantic. That is on that for big ticket 3 senatorial roads. We want to tell the people of the state that we're going to ensure that there is better coverage of our health insurance policy scheme in Bayelsa State so that every family, everybody in Bayelsa State, whether native or non-native, is going to be included. We want to ensure that the 8 technical colleges that we've started in the state, all of them are going to be commissioned and equipped to ensure that science and technology becomes a driving, masterpiece to eking the prospects of development. We also understand that sports remains one of our places of strength and comparative advantage in this country. Bayelsa State, must understand, has been top-notch in terms of sports. And therefore, this government is going to build a befitting stadium for the people of the state. And of course, the governor did mention that he will ensure that every local government has what is going to be a fair base for sport development in the state. Don't ask me when you talk about job creation. We've been able to put security on ground.
I didn't, but you're
infrastructure. Let me just add, it's very important. Now we're saying job creation is going to be critical because investors are going to be plummeting on Bayelsa State come 2024-28. The reason being that they found peace, they found transparency, they found frugality, and a government that is predictable. Why not? But above all of that, we are saying the storylines of development and hunger are many, but we need to hold hands together because the whole essence of achieving one common goal is for us to cross the aisle by ensuring that we hold hands together and put hands in gloves. That's the way we'll be.
Don Evarada Abednego, thank you very much for being a part of it and giving us, a sizable, introduction to the second phase of your plans for your state from your principal. A state first known for the discovery of oil in Oloibiri. The current governor is Diri, and that is the spirit. That has been Political Update for today. Fisagum is my name. Thanking you for watching. And between now and when we see you next on Tuesday, play your politics for the greater good and keep it locked on the Nigerian Television Authority for news, reviews, previews, and interviews. Bye-bye now.